how did you get into that? Like, what
Yes. So the story or the journey started with my family dog, Scrumpy. He was Jack Russell and lived till 17 and a half. Healthy for the vast majority of his life, but did encounter a few very common health issues such as arthritis and anxiety, especially in his older age. This unfortunately resulted in numerous trips back and forth to the vet. And, you know, as all dog owners know, vets these days are extremely, extremely expensive. And, you know, I just remember when growing up that my parents would always come back and say, oh, God, that's very expensive. And, you know, another big bill here. And ultimately, it was a consultation and a pill plan. And not only did I see that, but then I also saw my mum try and chase Scrumpy around the kitchen, trying to end up force feeding him pills, wrapping them in ham and cheese and whatever she could to get him to take it. And it just, to me, seemed crazy that there wasn't an easier way to ultimately get supplementary kind of supplements into the dog. And so this is where the kind of idea for liquids came. We've got it in the human world, and it's just why hadn't it been done in the dog world?
Yeah, I think it's a good point, because obviously, I've been a dog owner my whole life, and there's a way of putting pills down dogs' throats, which it's not the nicest, you know. But and then there's the other way where you try and coax them with food and that sort of stuff. But some dogs are pretty clever and pretty against taking pills. And when you put some supplements on your dog's dinner, they don't necessarily want to eat there, or they eat round it and this sort of stuff. They're pretty dastardly at getting round actually eating the supplement you're trying to get into them. So I do see it as a different angle to try and get those in. But again, it like with drinks, it's a different prospect, isn't it? To pills, it's a much more difficult. Like pills are very easy to transport; they're very easy to produce. I think like taking on a drink format as a challenge is much more difficult.
So we've designed P.O.R.D to be, you mentioned there, it's easier to kind of transport. P.O.R.D comes in very small 60 milliliter bottles, which we've, from our kind of initial customers, have said they love taking out on walks with them. And one of the benefits, I guess, to having a liquid, it does also have that hydration benefit, which, you know, pills and chews and tablets don't have, which I think is quite important for dog owners.
Yeah. I mean, let's say you do take one out on a dog walk with you. How do you normally sort of give it? Because obviously if it's in a bottle, it's like giving it to your dog.
Yep. So yeah, it very much is as simple as open the bottle and pour the liquid into an empty dog bowl, and the dog will actively go towards it and lap it up. And that's what we've seen. So gone are the days of having to, as you say, force feed the dog. The dog actively wants to go towards it and enjoys it.
Yeah. I mean, because 60 ml is not very much, is it? No. So do you find that like people mix it with other liquids and mix it with water, let's say, just to bulk it up? So if the dog's thirsty, they drink it more, or do you advise just giving it on its own? So
we advise that what the liquid contents of the bottle needs to get into the dog. That's where the kind of active ingredients are. That's where the active benefits are. And so whether that's poured into an empty dog bowl or poured on top of food, those are the two ways we suggest it. Diluting with water, we don't suggest, because ultimately, you know, a dog bowl, full dog water bowl, that could be across a few days. We want to be one serving bottle per day.